Hi. This might be a bit of a bummed out video, but if you're planning to purchase an ROG Ally or a SteamDeck, or if you have an Ally, this video is targeted towards you. You might have heard about some issues with the ROG Ally's SD card reader, right up here. And you might be thinking just as I did, oh, that's probably like a one-off thing, probably like 10 people in the world got that issue and I'm probably gonna be fine. Well, guess what happened next? I am not fine. My ROG Ally's SD card reader is either fried or it's something compatibility issue-wise with the software. I am aware that Asus has released a statement regarding this, saying they are looking into it, but the new BIOS version 322 does not solve the issue. It only increases the fan curves of these fans, so that as you can see, the SD card slot, oh yeah, I probably should say, if you don't know, the SD card slot is really close, I believe, to the power lines from the power delivery and also the fan. So these fans get really hot and the SD card is like slotted right here. So the theory that Asus has currently is that due to the heat, like SD cards either die or the port dies. So in my case, I think that the actual port died because the cards themselves are totally fine. Okay, so let's do some tests. Here I have two SanDisk Ultra cards, and some people said that this problem is actually connected to SanDisk and that their cards aren't compatible. I just inserted the 64GB SD card, and as you can see, we see nothing. Now, one of the potential fixes that people said was concerned with the drivers. You can try this for yourself if you're having this issue. Wait, give me a second. Desktop mode. Okay, I have a mouse. Also, wait, I want to show you this. Is this properly working now? Like, this menu has bugged out on me in the past few days for more than, I can't remember, like 10 times. Let's see. Okay, resolution switches. It's just the operating mode. Oh, there we go. Okay, it fixed itself. Yeah, but randomly sometimes I just can't use it. Okay, now it seems to work. That like refreshed and fixed it, yeah. But that was really frustrating, the menu there. So yeah, I'm still working on the review, but like, this whole SD card situation got me so frustrated because I might actually need to RMA the unit. Okay, so let's get back to the video. So yeah, if you see here, it's really tough for me. We have memory technology device, and these are pretty much the SD card drivers right here, if you can see that. So you can actually like uninstall, try to update them, and they might fix. You might not be seeing these because I believe in the newer updates Asus messed up and installed the 32-bit version, not the 64-bit version. So okay, so in this case, when we do see the Genesis Logic memory technology devices settings showing up and the disk drives do not show an SD card, a potential fix is actually to download the SD card drivers directly from Intel, because Asus in some way update something like messed up and installed the 32-bit version, not the 64-bit one. So, but I have already tried. My issue is not related to this one. Yeah, if we just do install and do open, it should install. As you can see, nothing changed. Okay, so this is just one example with the SanDisk. I mean, it's a 64 gig card that's only rated for A1. Yeah, so it might suck. I have a 128 gigabyte one as well. Let's plop that in real quick. Let's see. Nothing happens. Okay, so let's just move on. Next, I want to introduce the beast that never disappoints, except it's locked now. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. This is my SteamDeck, and as you can see, we currently have an SD card that's pretty much filled to the brim. I use this SD card interchangeably between these two devices, the SteamDeck and the Ally, and it was great. This is an amazing SD card. It's the Samsung one. Oh my god, if I can pull it out, that would be great. I'm using Samsung Pro Plus A2 512 GB card. And this exact card was in my Asus Rog Ally when it started to malfunction. And I'm really glad I did, because as you can see, this is the packaging for the card. It claims to be waterproof, X-ray proof, temperature proof, magnet proof, and drop proof. Actually, yeah, temperature proof. That's the big thing. Okay, so let's... Oops, I dropped it. So let's install this card into the ROG Ally and see what happens. This is the real issue. I don't know why these SanDisk cards do not show up, but this is the real issue. There we go. It says directory is invalid and asks you to format it if you want to open it. And that's pretty much the issue. So that means that the SD card reader is seeing the card, not like the SanDisk ones. It is showing up, it's totally fine. I tried the driver thing, but it just doesn't recognize the file system. So that's why I'm thinking that the SD cards themselves aren't the problem. It's the actual software or the port. I might have fried my port. I'll try contacting Asus support for it, but yeah, this is just a PSA to, like, if you're using the Ally, it's really cool, but like, don't use the turbo mode, or instead, let me just move it. Before we do that, let's just double check that the card still works. Yeah, and there we go, it's back in the Ally, in the SteamDeck, and there we go, it shows up. Also, I have my Nintendo Switch here, the regular model. Let's plop this. It also has a 512 SD card that was previously in my SteamDeck before I upgraded to the Samsung one. It's a Lexar 512 gig A2 card. So let's get the SteamDeck, and I'll show you that Windows actually recognizes, even though it was in my Switch. There we go. Let's get that bad boy in. And let's see the magic happen. You hear the sound, and there we go. It's immediately recognized as 435 gigabytes free. That's totally okay. And now let's get this bad boy out. There we go. And see what happens if we put it in the Ally. And the same thing happens. Yeah, we get the file system isn't found, and I tried all sorts of fixes, and at this moment in time, unless Asus figures something out that's like software-wise broken, it just doesn't work. I tried with 4 different SD cards, and as you saw, they all work in the the Switch and the SteamDeck, except the Ally. That's why I think that the cards are actually fine. They are not fried. Actually, why is it still seeing something there? Okay, that's weird. They're still fine, but I just believe that the actual port, maybe due to heat, maybe due to something, just like destroyed itself. Okay, so if you're actually planning on buying an Ally, please keep this in mind that the SD card reader isn't a given. I know they're like replacing them, but at this point I'm not sure if I want to return the device and wait for 2 months, or just like upgrade the SSD inside and forget about the SD slot. But if you already own an ROG Ally and your SD card working properly, you could update to the BIOS 322. I'm still a 317 because I don't want to see any issues. I mean, I have seen an issue, but on 322 they actually increased the fan curve. That makes the fans like audibly louder, but not super loud as the SteamDeck. So it's probably still fine, but I would just go in here. Actually, not in here. I would go into your settings, go down to operating mode, and enable manual. Like, don't use turbo, because I think turbo with the cable inserted is like actually really hard, and I think that's like the device can handle it and the fans definitely handle it, because this is the primary way I was playing games on this device, but like with turbo mode, right? And plugged in, but the device was actually like hot. It was playing totally fine. It boosts like 50 watts or something ridiculous, which I think is the main reason, so that's why Asus like increased the fan curvature. But I would suggest, instead of using turbo mode, there's a really popular like 18 watt preset. You can turn everything down to 18 watt here. Or what I did was just like boost everything up, right? Boost everything up, but just don't ignore your fan curve. Like, mine is so aggressive. If it's like at 100%, just go with 100%. At this point, I think it's like too late for me for my SD card reader, but I would go at something aggressive. Like, don't go maybe too aggressive than I do, because I went like at 60 Celsius, not 60 Celsius. Yeah, 60 degrees Celsius. I went like 60% fan speed, 80 degrees Celsius, I went like 80 degrees fan speed, something like that. So it's really aggressive and it's really loud. Also, why is this not working? This is kind of frustrating. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I would recommend doing something like this. You can update the BIOS and you won't have to like hassle with this stuff. And Asus hasn't fixed the SD card problems in the newest BIOS, contrary to popular belief. They just increased the fan curvature to try to mitigate this problem as best as they can. So yeah, this is a short video. This problem has actually plagued my channel because I couldn't make any videos. I was still trying to troubleshoot this all the time, but hopefully you'll see a performance video that's a little bit scuffed because I have some footage when the SD card was still working and it's like filmed not that great, and I have other footage that's like newer but filmed better. So yeah, it might be a mix mash kind of a video, but you should see that pretty soon. And other than that, for now, SteamDeck's gonna be the star of the show. I'm gonna do a guide on how to install Windows and other stuff, so that should be cool. And also, let's build the ultimate Steam Deck, because you've seen my Steam Deck. My Steam Deck looks out of the ordinary, so I'll make a video how to make a cheap ultimate Steam Deck. That should be fun. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.